Hi everybody, welcome to Butterfly Yoga and Pilates at Home. My name is Patricia. This is our first ever online class, so I'm delighted that you're here to practice along with me. In today's class, we'll focus on supporting the respiratory system. We'll do this mainly by mobilising the thoracic spine, giving more space for our lungs and more space for our breath. There's just a couple of things that you might like to have to hand to make your practice a more comfortable one. The first is a blanket, so any small blanket or couch cushion will do, just for a little comfort underneath our heads and underneath our knees. The other thing is a strap or a belt. I've got a yoga strap here, but it's not necessary to have a yoga strap. Any kind of strap or belt will do. That's it, okay? Grab your things, grab your mat, and let's get started. Okay, great. So we've got our blanket, we've got our strap, we're ready to go. We're going to start in a seated position. If cross-legged is comfortable for you, you can choose that. Or if it's not, maybe a kneeling position. Just find a position that's good for you. In this position, we can use the blanket to prop our hips up a little bit. I'll just turn to the side for a moment to show you what that's like. We'll pop the blanket right underneath the sit bones. That way, our pelvis will come into a more neutral position, allowing the spine to grow tall. Think of sitting down right on top of your sit bones and think of reaching the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. From this position, we'll take a couple of shoulder rolls. So again, finding your comfortable seat, and then we'll begin to roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And forward, up, back, and down. Just one last time. Forward, up, back, and down. Just let the hands relax down. And now let's nod our chin towards the chest, keeping the spine nice and tall as you feel that nice stretch in the back of your neck. From here, let your gaze look up as you lift your chin. And now let's look up to where the ceiling meets the wall. Or if it's comfortable for you, you can take it a little higher. Let's add our breath to the movement as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Feel the stretch in the back of your neck, keeping your shoulders soft and relaxed. And then inhale and look up. Last time, coming back down, drop your chin towards your chest. Feel the stretch in the back of your neck. And then let your gaze come back along the horizon. From here, let's start to rotate the head. So we'll take the chin over to the right, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale as we come back to the center, and then exhale, chin to the left shoulder. Inhale to the center, and exhale to the right. Last time to the center, and then to the right. And then back to the center. Okay, we're going to take the strap for the next part. Let's take the strap and bring it behind the ribs. So right at the back of the ribs and not on the waist. We'll take it to the front then, and we're going to crisscross it at the front. There's no need to tie it, you can just crisscross it and then hold either end in opposite hand, keeping your shoulders soft and relaxed. This part, we're just going to focus on breathing. And I want you to visualize the ribs and visualize that cylinder shape of the ribs so that as you breathe in, you can feel the ribs expand, and then as you breathe out, you'll feel the ribs contract again. We're using the strap to give us some feedback. So let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, keeping the shoulders soft and relaxed. And exhale through the nose. And continue with your breath like that for a moment. As you breathe in, you'll notice that your hands begin to come together and you'll feel the pressure of your ribs against the strap. As you breathe out, you'll notice that your hands move apart and you'll feel how your ribs start to move away from the strap. Let's take a few more breaths like this. Really focus on sending your breath down and into your ribs. Often when we breathe, our breath can move higher and up to the upper chest. Let's just take a few more breaths like this. Breathing nice and deeply into the ribs on your inhale. And exhale. Feel how the ribs contract underneath the strap. Just 3 more. And then release the strap. You can place the strap over to the side of your mat. From here, place your hands on top of your knees, and we'll just start to mobilize the whole spine now as we round the spine, rolling the pelvis back, taking your chin towards your chest, your gaze to your belly button. And then as you inhale, coming forward, this time leading with your sternum, taking your breastbone forward into space. Use your hands to create a little bit of traction, a little bit of resistance as you take your gaze up to where the ceiling meets the wall. Exhale as you round your spine. Inhale as you extend. Just twice more like this. Exhale as you round. And inhale as you extend. And then come back and to the center. This time we're going to take both hands, reach the fingertips wide, spread them all the way up, lifting them up towards the ceiling. Let's keep the right hand reaching up towards the ceiling as we take the left hand down to our side. Place the palm of the hand onto the floor and let your elbow be soft and relaxed. As you reach over to the right hand side, let your elbow bend, reaching through the side of the waist. As you reach through to the right hand side, think of your left hip reaching down towards the floor. Inhale and reach up. Let the right hand lift up and then take it to the opposite side. Left hand comes down and now your right hand is reaching across to the left hand side. This time we're thinking of keeping the right hip reaching down so you can feel that expansion through the sides of the ribs. Let's do that one last time. The next time you're reaching over to the right hand side, stay there. Stay there and hold for just a breath or two. Feel now how you have that expansion in the left side of your ribs. Feel the right side of the ribs, the waist contracted. Let's take a nice deep breath here and feel the left side of your ribs expand even more. On your next inhale, let your left hand reach up. Right hand comes up and we'll take that to the other side. Right hand reaches across. Take a nice deep breath now into the right side of your ribs. Feel that expansion in the right side of the ribs. Feel how the left side is contracted. And so when you breathe in, you're really sending all of your breath into the right side. On your next inhale, come back up. Keeping both hands reaching up towards the ceiling. Now feel the expansion from the sit bones reaching down all the way up at the sides of your waist as you reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. From here, let the elbows bend as you take your hands down towards your shoulders, keeping your shoulders soft and relaxed. Back of your neck is nice and long. And now exhale as you twist to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale and twist to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale and twist. Inhale, center, and exhale, twist. Inhale, center. The next time you twist to the right, hold it there. Inhale, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Now let your left hand come to rest on your right knee and take your right hand and bring it down behind you. Come to rest on the fingertips rather than down and onto the palm, and press into the fingertips so that you're pushing yourself up and away from the floor. Keeping the shoulders soft and relaxed, and turn to look over your right shoulder. Hold it there for a breath. And then before we come back to the center, let both hands float back up towards the ceiling, Unravel, untwist, come back to the center. Let your hands come down towards your shoulders, and then again rotate to the opposite side. Lift the hands back up towards the ceiling. Take the right hand to the left knee, right hand comes behind onto those fingertips again, quite close to your hips so that you can use them to help keep reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Pull a little gently, a little traction onto that right hand to left knee as you turn to look over the left shoulder. Reaching the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Reaching down through your sit bones, down through your pelvis. Take a nice deep breath here. On your next inhale, reach both hands up towards the ceiling, unravel, unwind, and come back to the center, and then let the hands come all the way down. Okay, from here we're going to come over onto hands and knees. So when you're ready, just flip over onto hands and knees. So here's where we can use the blanket under the knees if you like to have just that little extra bit of padding. You can flatten out your blanket and bring your knees onto the blanket. So here we're going to have the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We'll take a few cat-cow movements from here. So let's round the spine again, sending the tailbone down towards the heels. Taking again your chin to your collarbone, your gaze to your belly button. Think of that angry cat shape as you push the back of the waist up towards the ceiling. In this position, feel how the front of your body contracts, the back of the body stretches. And then as you inhale, allow your tailbone to lift up towards the ceiling. Send your sternum into that space between your hands. Feel again like you could pull your hands along the mat to create that traction. Inhale here and then exhale and take your spine back into that angry cat shape. Tailbone reaching down, back of the waist reaching up, chin to collarbone, gaze to belly button. Inhale and extend the spine. Tailbone reaches up towards the ceiling and gaze forward, sternum forward, shoulders back and away from the ears. One last time like this. The next time you come into the angry cat, that flexed position of the spine, send your sit bones all the way back and towards your heels. From here, let your elbows, your forearms drop down towards the floor. We're going to move now just the upper spine into those same positions. The pelvis is a bit fixed here, it's more stuck here, so really only the upper spine can move. Let's really focus on that. Sometimes the neck really wants to help us out here. So really see, can we send the sternum forward and then get that roundedness of the spine. The forearms, the elbows can stay on the floor and they can help us, giving us a little bit of traction as they pull forward, sending the sternum forward into space. Now feel like you're pushing your hands down and into the mat as you send your sternum back, lifting the back of the ribs up towards the ceiling. Taking again your chin to your collarbone, and your gaze towards your knees. As you inhale, feel like you're pulling your hands back along the mat, sending your sternum forward into that space again as you take your gaze forward. As you exhale, it's like you're pushing your hands along the mat. Feel the back of the ribs lifting up and into space. And inhale and come forward again. Really focusing on taking the sternum through rather than the movement of the head and the neck. Last time, pushing the hands forward. Feel like you're lifting your sternum up and towards your spine. Rounding the upper spine. And then the last time, coming forward. Sending your sternum forward into that space in front of your hands. From here, let's rise back up and onto hands and knees. Checking again to make sure that your hands are under your shoulders and that your knees are underneath your hips. This time, let's take the left hand and just bring it either to the back of the head or to your shoulder, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Make sure that if your hand is on your head, that it's not pushing it down, that you're able to keep that length in the back of your neck. And then from here we're going to rotate as we lift that left elbow up towards the ceiling, rotating the upper spine. And then we'll come back down to face the floor. Let's add our breath to this movement. And inhale as you lift your elbow up towards the ceiling, rotating the upper spine. Now as you rotate that left elbow up, can you think of keeping the left hip crease facing towards the floor so that the hip doesn't move with you? And then come back into the center. Let's do that twice more. Inhale as you lift the left elbow up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come back to the center. Last time, inhale and lift the left elbow up towards the ceiling. And then exhale and come back to the center. Let's switch to the other side. Again, planting your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Take your right hand and bring your right hand to the back of your head or to your shoulder, whatever feels best. Again, inhale as you reach your right elbow up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come back to the center. As we lift the right elbow up, we're thinking of sending the right hip crease to face the floor so that it doesn't start to lift or shift with us. So that again, we can really work on mobilizing the upper spine, the thoracic spine. Coming back to the center, this is our last one. Inhale as you lift up. And then exhale and face the floor again. Push back again into that angry cat position and then all the way back with your bum to heels and your chest to your thighs. Let's rise up again, back and up onto hands and knees. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And this time we'll let the left hand lift all the way up towards the ceiling. And now we're going to take it and thread it through into that space between the right hand and the right knee as you reach away from you towards the right hand side of the mat. Let's inhale and lift that hand all the way up. Exhale and take it down, reach it and into that space between the hands. Once again, as the upper spine moves, we're thinking of keeping from the hips down still so that they don't move along with us or shift to side to side. Let's reach through, exhale, reaching through. And then we'll do that one last time. Inhale and lift up. And then exhale, reach through, hold it there for just a moment. And then take your left hand back down to underneath your shoulder. Let's reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you lift up. And then exhale and reach your right hand through into the space between your left knee and your left hand. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and reach through. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, reach through, remembering that we're keeping the lower part of the body still. Again, really working on mobilizing the upper spine. Just two more. Exhale and reach through. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and reach through. And this time when you reach through, reach all the way through. Let the back of your hand, the back of your arm come down towards the floor. And now rest your head down and onto the floor. So that the back of your right shoulder, your right ear, are down and onto the floor. Push into your left hand a little bit, just so can you lean back a little more towards the right. If you're comfortable here, you could reach the left hand out on front. Again, we're aiming to keep both hip creases facing towards the floor so that the movement is coming from the upper spine. Take one more breath like this. And then draw your left hand back in so that you can push yourself back up and onto hands and knees. Let's take that same movement now to the other side. So we'll reach the left hand up. Take it into the space between the right hand and the right knee. Let the back of the left hand come down towards the floor, the back of the left shoulder. Again, using a little bit of traction to push back even more. And then reach your right hand out on front if that's comfortable. Draw your right hand back in and then push yourself back up and onto hands and knees. This time let's sit all the way back onto our heels. Now this isn't a comfortable position for everybody, so feel free to change the position of your blanket. You could always take it and put it maybe under the front of your feet or between your heels and your sit bones, whatever feels good. So from our kneeling position, here you can pat out your knees or pat out your heels or the space between your heels and your sit bones, whatever feels good. And then we're going to interlace our fingers behind our back. Let's reach the fingers and knuckles down towards the soles of the feet as we roll the shoulders back towards the ears, reaching the hands down. From here, just begin to lift the little side of your finger up towards the ceiling, just to wherever is comfortable for you. Don't worry about what kind of shape you're making, just think about feeling that nice stretch across the front of your chest, and notice how your shoulder blades come together behind. And then release and let the hands come down again. Uninterlace your fingers, and at this time when you interlace them behind, interlace them the way that feels weird. There's always one way that we'll do it, so just cross them over so that the other index finger comes on top. So reaching your hands behind your back again, interlacing your fingers in that weird way, and then reach the knuckles down towards the soles of your feet. Take your shoulders and squeeze them together behind your back, and then begin to lift the little finger side of your hand up towards the ceiling. Again, just noticing where you feel that sensation of stretch, and where you feel that contraction of the muscles, the space between your shoulders, the space between your shoulder blades. And then release again, let the fingers come back down towards the floor. Release the hands. We'll interlace the fingers again, this time in the way that we normally do it, like the way we did the first time. Interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles down towards the soles of the feet, lift the little finger side of your hand up towards the ceiling. And this time, allow yourself to fold forward so that your forehead comes down towards the floor. Keep sending your sit bones towards your heels, and keep sending now your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Just take a breath there, take a moment there. Notice where you feel that sensation of stretch, that sensation of contraction of your muscles as you reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Imagine now that somebody has taken hold of your hands, taken hold of your knuckles, reaching them back up towards the ceiling to lift you all the way back up again. And then release the hands. So now we're going to interlace the fingers the weird way, so whatever way you normally do it, let the other index finger be on top. Take your hands behind your back again, interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles down towards the soles of the feet, send the little finger side of your hand up towards the ceiling, and fold forward, folding forward from your hip crease. As you allow your forehead to come down towards the floor, keep sending your sit bones down towards the heels. Allow your knuckles to reach up towards the ceiling. Feel the squeeze of the shoulder blades together like somebody is lifting the knuckles up towards the ceiling. And then on your next inhale, reach all the way back up again. And then release your fingers. From here, we're going to take the hands, interlace them again in the normal way, take them behind your back, release them, reach the fingertips, the knuckles down towards the soles of your feet. And at this time, we're going to let the fingers come apart, but try to keep them as close together as you can. So we'll release the interlace of the fingers, but we'll keep squeezing the palms of the hands together so that you feel the palms of the hands moving towards each other. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing together behind, but without that joining of the fingers that we had before. Keep reaching the fingers down towards the floor like you're trying to take hold of something there. Keep the front of your ribs nice and soft. Take one more breath here. And then release and let the hands come back to the front. From here, we're going to roll all the way over and onto our backs. So when you're ready, coming down and onto the floor. So when you come down onto the floor, this time, let's not have anything at the back of our heads. We're going to come into a bridge position. So have your knees lined up with your hips and your heels lined up with your hips. For most of us, we'll have about a fist space between the knees and between the feet. That's about hip distance apart. Let the back of your head rest onto the floor. Feel the length in the back of your neck, and then press the palms of your hands into the floor. Feel again now how your shoulder blades press down and into the floor. And then from here, press into the soles of your feet as you roll your hips back towards the ribs and peel your spine up and off the floor into bridge. Let your chin be gently tucked and feel like you're reaching out through your knees, through your shins. Feel like you're lifting your hip points up towards your shoulders and sending your tailbone down towards the backs of your knees. From here, we're going to roll back down through the spine. Imagine your spine like a heavy link chain that you're releasing down towards the floor, one vertebrae at a time. See, can you pay attention to releasing the spine and the vertebrae down just one at a time so that you get the lower back to come in contact with the floor before the pelvis does. Let's try that twice more. So we're going to roll the hips back towards the ribs, peel the spine up and off the floor into bridge. Press into your hands. Notice while you're lifted here that again with the hands behind your back, you can feel your shoulder blades come together behind. Begin to allow your spine to release down towards the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Like you're lengthening each and every vertebra away from each other as you release down towards the floor. Remember that we're looking for the back of the waist to come down right before the pelvis does. And then we'll lift back up again. Rolling the hips back towards the ribs, peel the spine up and off the floor. Press into the feet, lift the hips and the knees and shins forward. And then roll all the way back down again. Again, looking for that low back space to come down and reach the floor before the back of the pelvis does. From here, let's take our hands behind our head, and here's a place where you can use your blanket or your couch cushion underneath your head, just to give a little extra comfort and to prop the head a little bit. We're going to take our hands behind our head, but let's not interlace the fingers, because then we have a tendency to pull the head forward. So we'll keep the hands kind of wide. I like to let my thumbs reach down along the back of my neck and fingertips cradle my head, and then come down towards the floor. Let's just extend open the arms, the elbows out wide, and then draw them close together again. Just letting the elbows move away from each other, and then the elbows move towards each other. And just do that a couple of times. The next time your elbows are opening out wide, just keep them as wide as you can see them in your peripheral vision, so that they're not right up reaching up towards the ceiling, but nor are they down towards the floor. In this position with your head supported, as you exhale, curl your head and your chest up and off the floor. Resist the urge to pull your head forward, yanking your chin towards your chest. So keep the back of your neck again nice and long. Your gaze is out towards your thighs, towards your knees. And then inhale and come back towards the floor. Exhale and curl your head and your chest up towards the ceiling, and then inhale and release down. So as you're lifting up, think of the movement happening at the rib cage. You can stay with your hands supporting your head and really just pointing it where in the movement. So you'll feel that your front ribs are pushing down towards the floor, and you'll feel that your back ribs now are pushing into the floor. And then release your head again on the inhale. Exhale and curl your head and your chest up and off the floor. Feel that your head is supported in your hands, and resist the urge to tuck your chin all the way towards your chest. Inhale and come down again. Let's lift up, and this time let's hold it here for a moment. We're going to start to float the left leg off the floor. So you have a choice. You can continue with this lifting up and down of your head, or you can start to add a lift of the leg. As you lift the left leg, try not to drop the height of your head and your chest. And think about taking your knee over your hip and your shin and keeping it parallel to the ceiling. And then as you release your head, release your knee. Let's take that to the other side. Exhale and curl your head and your chest up and off the floor. Keep the height of your chest as you let your knee float up and over your hip. Now your shin is parallel to the ceiling again. As your head comes down, allow your knee to come down, your foot to come down towards the floor. Exhale, let's add the movements together. Knee lifts, head and chest lifts. And then let the foot come down, let the head and chest come down. Exhale, curl the head and the chest up and off the floor. Shin is parallel to the ceiling. Inhale and everything comes down. Exhale, curl the head and the chest. Knee lifts, everything comes down. Exhale, curl the head and the chest, knee lifts, and then everything comes down. Let's do that one last time. Exhale, curl the head and the chest, and knee lifts. Inhale, everything comes down. Last time. Exhale, curl the head and the chest, and knee lifts, and then everything comes down. From here, let the elbows open out wide and feel that expansion across your chest again. Feel the length in the back of your neck. And this time we're going to keep the feet flat on the floor. And again, we'll exhale and curl the head on the chest. Keeping your elbows in your peripheral vision, we want to avoid them starting to swing together towards each other. And really keep on focus on keeping the hips really, really still. We're going to take some twisting movements just like we did at the beginning of the class. So we're going to exhale and twist as we allow the left elbow to reach towards the floor and the right elbow to reach up towards the ceiling. As we inhale, we'll come back to the center. Exhale and twist. Now as we're reaching over to the right hand side, keep thinking of the left hip dropping down towards the floor so that it doesn't start to lift and roll with us. Keep your knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back to the center, and then exhale as you twist. So again, we're focusing on mobilizing the thoracic spine. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale and twist. Rolling across the shoulder blades. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale and twist. Inhale to the center, exhale and twist. And we'll do that just one last time. So resist the urge to let this movement be about your neck or about your elbows pulling across or coming towards each other. Keep the elbows in the peripheral vision all the time. And then inhale, come back to the center. And then exhale and twist. Inhale to the center and then release your head all the way towards the floor. Let your elbows go wide. Release your hands from behind your head and let your head rock a little left to right. From here, we're going to come back up and into a seated position. So you can roll over onto your side and make your way there, or you can take your hands behind your legs, behind the backs of your knees, and begin to create some momentum to roll all the way up and back up and into a seated position. From here, we're going to rise up to standing. So again, make your way standing in whatever way that's comfortable for you. We're going to take the left foot back and the right foot forward so that we come into a high lunge position. Let's have that hip distance space between our feet again. And make sure that both knees are bent. We're looking for our front knee to be over the front ankle, for the back heel to be lifted directly up towards the ceiling. And then from here, let's make sure that the pelvis is neutral. So we're lifting the hip points up towards the ceiling and sending the tailbone down. We're still working on that focus of mobilizing the thoracic spine. So again, we're going to take our left hand behind our head or to the shoulder, whatever feels good. Right hand is going to come to the right hip. And we're going to use this right hand so that we can notice if we're moving the hips. We want to again try to keep the hips really still so that everything from the waist down stays still. From here, we're going to inhale as we open to the left. So again, we're monitoring this right hip to make sure that it stays facing forward and doesn't start to move around with us. It's going to stay right to the front of the mat as we open, and then exhale and come back into the center. Let's do that twice more. Inhale as we open. Feel your left rib cage spiraling away from the front of your mat. And then exhale, come back to the center. Inhale and open. Now this time stay there. Let's release the left hand, reach it back behind you, and then reach the right fingertips forward. Think about squeezing your inner thighs together. That's going to help here with your stability. And always in this high lunge position is the option to take the back knee down towards the floor if that's a more comfortable position for you. Let's hold it here for one more breath. And then slowly unravel, unwind, and come back to the center. Let's step the left foot forward, and then we'll switch that to the other side. So we'll take the right leg back. We're back in that high lunge position. We're up on the toes of the back foot, both knees are bent. Hip points are lifting up towards the ceiling, tailbone is dropping down, front ribs are nice and soft. Let's take that left hand now to monitor the left hip. Right hand comes right behind the head. Hips are going to stay square to the front of the mat, and then we'll inhale and open. And exhale, back to the front. Think again of squeezing your inner thighs together. As you inhale and open, feel how your right rib cage is reaching back behind. And then back to the center. Inhale, open. And this time we're going to stay there, hold, reach the right hand back, send the left fingertips forward, squeeze the inner thighs together, and reach out through the fingertips. One more breath here. And then release the hand, release the hip. Let's lower the back knee this time, coming all the way to the floor. Uncurl the toes. And we're going to come back down and onto the knees. From here, we'll come back down to sit onto your hips. And we'll roll all the way back down and into that bridge position. Let's scoot the blanket again away from the back of the head. Find your bridge position. Find that hip distance space between your knees and between your feet. And this time, before we come into bridge, let's walk the feet back as much as you can so that the heels come close to the sit bones. We'll roll the hips just as we did, lifting the hips back up and towards the ceiling. This time in our bridge position, keep pushing into the feet. Feel that length in the back of your neck, let the back of your head come onto the floor. And this time allow your ribs and your hips to keep lifting up towards the ceiling. Remember how we interlaced our fingers before? Let's do that again and take them behind our backs. And reach down through the knuckles. Start to shimmy your shoulders underneath your ribs so that you can lift even higher into your bridge. Feeling that lovely openness across the front of your chest. Press down into the little finger side of your hand. Reach your knuckles down towards your heels. Take a moment here, take a breath here. Keep lifting your hips, lifting your ribs, pushing through the tripod stance of your feet. And then release your fingers. Let the palms of the hands come towards the floor. And then again, release your vertebrae one at a time, all the way towards the floor. Slowly releasing first the low back, and then the back of the pelvis. From here, let's draw the knees in towards the chest again. And this time we'll take the big toes together, and we'll take a few jellyfish rolls. So the hands will rest on top of the thighs, and then we'll draw the knees towards the chest, open them out wide, and back to the center. Knees to chest. The hands are just resting here, they're just passive, resting on top of the knees. And then we'll go back in the other direction, circling at the knees. This time now keep the knees together and we'll circle around. This should feel like a nice massage for the low back area. As the knees come towards the chest, let that be your exhale. As they move away, let that be your inhale. And then we'll take the knees back in the opposite direction. From here, take your right foot down towards the floor, left foot down towards the floor. Let your hands rest either side of your hips. And now just allow your head to rock a little left to right. And then come back to the center. From your lying position, gently roll back over onto your side and push yourself back up and into a comfortable seated position. That concludes our physical practice for today. And we're going to end our practice now with a meditation. You can choose to be in whatever position suits you for this meditation. You could stay lying on the floor, or you could choose to sit on the floor or sit on a chair. If you do decide to sit, just make sure that your spine is tall and erect, and use the support of the physical practice that we just completed to help you to find that tallness in your spine, keeping your collarbones wide, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. The meditation that we're going to do today is a loving kindness meditation. In the loving kindness meditation, we choose some phrases to help us to cultivate positive emotions. So we focus on cultivating positive emotions, emotions that make us happy. The phrases that I've chosen today resonate with me, but again, you can change them or add new ones in, whatever feels best for you. The phrases as I say them will appear on the screen, but you can choose just to close your eyes and listen to my voice. Thanks again for practicing with me. Enjoy the meditation. I hope to see you again soon. We begin the practice by cultivating loving kindness for ourselves. This can often be the hardest part, as it can feel like a selfish act. However, think instead of this practice as an act of self-care and self-love. If we can feel more positive, accepting, kind and patient towards ourselves, then we can be more compassionate and loving towards others. As we repeat the phrases, focus on any emotions that arise. Notice any effect that they have on you and how you are feeling. Let's begin. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and well. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and well. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and well. May I be happy. Take a moment to allow the phrases to resonate with you. Now we will begin to cultivate loving kindness for a loved one. Choose a loved one. See them in your mind's eye. Say their name to yourself. Go into your heart and feel a sense of warmth and love there for them. As we extend our phrases to our loved ones. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be safe and well. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be safe and well. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be safe and well. May you be happy. Finally, let us extend our phrases to include all beings, to cultivate loving kindness for all. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be safe and well. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be safe and well. May we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be safe and well. May we be happy. Take a moment now to rest with loving kindness in your heart. Our practice is now coming to a close. Feel free to stay resting for as long as you like. If you're coming back to your day now, do so with ease as you gently open your eyes. Begin to slowly create movement in your body. Wriggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, gently rock your head left to right. Thanks for practicing with me. Have a great day, everyone. Namaste.